Hi everyone. I know that you can see me, so I'll share my screen right now. A minute. So hello everyone, welcome to today's class. So yesterday we spoke about how to use URL if we want to make a background image, how we can actually use URL. So I'll be editing that right now so that we can continue from where we stopped. So now let's go check the background image of our website. So I'll be back in a bit. So I just go open the web page over here. Just a minute. Really? So I think this is not working. So hi Kelvin, how you doing? Please can you send me a message where you're actually chatting from? Where are you chatting from? Perfect. So Kelvin, where are you chatting from? Okay, so guys, I'm able to replace the URL for our background image. So I'm just going to stop sharing and share that part of the window so you can see. So apart from yesterday, our stuff was kind of blue. How do I cancel this? Our stuff was kind of blue, but now it is, this is the background image for our stuff. So you can actually change the change your website from being just colored and put like a background image for it. So this is one of the benefits of using background image. So if you have any question from yesterday, because the internet was kind of bad, and so we cut half, like the meeting was actually cut yesterday, so that's why we're continuing from today. And now, so we have actually treated background image, background color, and we also treated the different type of colors yesterday. So now the next thing that we are going to treat today is, since I've already taught you how to use background image, you just use background image, then you put the URL, and then you change, or you just put a link from online, or you put download a picture and add to your page, which I've already taught you. So another thing again that I'm going to teach you is background repeat. So guys, do you know what background repeat is? Hello. Hi, hi. Oh, thank you so much. So do you know what background repeat is? So I'm just going to stop sharing and share the screen with you so you can see. If you know what background repeat is and how we can actually use it in HTML and CSS, you can actually write on the chat so that I know that you are following me. Hi, Foss, I can see you. Welcome. Gayan. Oh, thank you so much, Gayan. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. If you know what background repeat is, you can write on the I'm good first. I'm very good. And Guyan, hi, please can you just tell me where you're chatting from, what country you're actually chatting from? So if you know what background repeat is, please just write on the chat so that I know that you guys are following me. If you don't know what background repeat is, I can actually explain that to you. Yesterday we discussed background color, we discussed the different type of background color and everything. Hi Brenda, Brenda, I can actually see you here again today. Thank you so much for coming. So if you know, I was asking if you know what background repeat is, please write on the chat, and how and when can we use background repeats. Oh, okay, Guy, I'm from Sri Lanka. Okay, nice to meet you. I live in Canada, and I'm happy to know that I have someone from Sri Lanka. Um, so do you know what background repeat is, and how can we use background repeats in CSS? How and when can we use background repeats in CSS? How and when can we use background repeats in CSS? So I'll be writing it on the stuff here. Ctrl V. How and when can we use background repeats in CSS, guys? Please write on the chat so that I know that you're actually following me. Yes, I can see 3 people here. So I'd love to know how and when we can, if you want to duplicate an image. Yes, very good. So when you don't want to duplicate an image, so what do we write after the background repeat? So I can see Breda say if you want to duplicate an image. So we can just put no, repeat, and we definitely see that our background image that we actually used, we can see that the images will no longer be duplicated. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. No repeat, none. Yeah, that's also in line with what I'm saying. So I'll stop sharing and share the other side of the screen so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. And okay, so something. So I'll just come over here and load this. You can see that before we had the images like everywhere, but now because we said no repeat, the images is no longer repeating. Can you see? It's just one image for our background. So imagine that I go back and I change it. Let me go back and stop sharing so I can show you what I am talking about. I go back. Yeah, you can ask me a question, Guyan. I go back here. I actually share here. Let's put repeats. Over here, we use the word repeat. So if we use the word repeat over here, I know that everybody can actually see my screen. Yes, you can ask me a question, Gaian, and I'm actually listening. So if you use the word repeat over here, you are going to see that when we use our website, it's going to actually, the image, background image that we actually put there is going to actually repeat to the size of the website. So I'm going to stop sharing and show you the website so that you can know what I am talking about. Um, So remember that we used no repeat before, and this is what it actually looked like when we use no repeat. This is what it actually looked like. And now, okay, thank you so much for your advice. Yeah, why are you doing like this? Yeah, because I'm actually using a small screen. We're waiting for our bigger screen to come. So I want to make sure that everybody's actually seeing what I'm saying, I'm doing. That's why I'm splitting for the main time before our bigger screen come in. So now I'm going to load the page so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. So you see, we have actually duplicated the background image, and you see that it's on repeat till when the web page actually ends. So, but when you put on no repeat, it would actually just put only the size of the image and just one. So if you have a question from this, please, I'm open to answer before we move to the next point, because the next one we're talking about will be background attachment. If you have a question, please write on the chat so that we can actually move to the next one. If you have a question, please write. Please write on the chat so that we can actually move to next. So guys, what is background attachment and how can we use background attachments? What is background attachment and how can we use background attachments? What is background attachment and how? Thank you so much, first. I can see you say no question. So what is background attachment and how can we use background attachment? What is background attachment first? First, what is background attachment and how can we use background attachment? What is background attachment first? Brenda and Gayan. I don't know if it's Gayan that is still there or someone else. How and when can we use background attachments in writing our CSS code? Okay, so I'll just say it. So background attachment, we actually use it to know if our website or our background image should be fixed. Okay, thank you so much for should be fixed or should be movable, if we can scroll it up or scroll it down. So I'm going to give you an example now. I'm going to go back to our web page so you can see what our background image actually look like right now and when we actually put it to either be fixed or movable. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and share the other side of the screen so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. Windows here, share, and over here you can see that our image cannot be moved. It's actually fixed there. So now what we are going to do is let's see if we can actually, sorry, it can be scrolled, sorry. So let's see if we can actually make it fixed. So let's go back and try to make our stuff very fixed so that everybody can actually see if they can use it. So I'll come over here and use the word fixed. Oh, sorry, I thought I was sharing. I'll come over to the other side of the screen and use the word fixed over here. Sorry, over here. So this way, our background image that we actually use is now fixed on the background, and it cannot be moved anymore to any place. But if we actually change it from fixed, and then maybe we put it at scroll, we can see that when we scroll, the image is going to scroll up or scroll down or scroll to any position that we actually want it to be. But on the meantime, I'm going to share the other side of the screen. You can see what I'm talking about, and then I'm also going to put it on scroll so you can actually also see what I'm talking about. So over here, you see that it's fixed. Sorry, I mistakenly shared the same screen back again. So share over here. So yep. So let's go. So now you see that we've actually made our stuff fixed, and it's actually not moving anywhere. It's actually fixed, and this image cannot be moved. And if we you can see, right, this image can actually not be moved because it's in a fixed position and cannot be moved. So when we actually change this background image from fixed to scroll, when you scroll, you are going to see that the image will also scroll alongside with you. So in order for you to understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to stop sharing and share the other side of the screen again and type scroll over there. Sorry, interesting. I'll come here and type scroll. Okay, so now when we go back to the screen, stop sharing, go back to the screen and see what I'm talking about. So the screen over here is still fixed. So when we load the page, you can see now that you can actually scroll. When you scroll, you can actually scroll. To me, there's not much difference here because our image is already duplicated. So you can actually scroll alongside with it. Can you see that anytime you move alongside the image? 1, 2, 3. Actually scrollable. See, we move to this side because we didn't set the size of our page. So when you scroll, definitely there will definitely be a background image because it's actually not fixed. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to. And then the next thing that we're going to speak about is background position. Guys, please, what is background position and how and when can we use background position in CSS? First, please, can you tell us on the chat, or Brenda, how and when can we use background position in CSS? How and when can we use background position in CSS? Mhm. I'm waiting, guys. I'm not hearing anything. Okay, so background position can actually be used to check the specific position of the background image. Do you want it to be at the right top, the left top, any part of the position that you want your background image to be? You know, you can actually fix background image in one side of your page, and then the other side should be like plain or something. So where and how do you want to use your background image? So that's where we use background position. So in a scenario like this, we are going to use right top. Let's check what's going to happen to our image when we do that. So I'll come over here and do right. Let me first put right top, then I'll just come and put right again. Come back here. If it's working. I don't know why right top is not working here. Why is this not working? Okay, let's just use right. I just need things on CSS. We actually fixed our background image to be at the right side of the web page. So when I load this, you can see that the background image has actually shifted to the right, and when you scroll to the left, it's still on repeat, so but it's still going to be the same place. So but if I remove background attachment and background repeat. Let's take these two out and let me show you what's going to happen. Let's see. So I'm taking it out and I'm going to reload the page now so you can all see what I'm talking about. So you can see that the background image has actually been moved to the right side and the right top side of the page. Guys, if you have any questions, please write on the chat so I understand that you're actually following me. If you have any question, if you have any suggestion, please write on the chat. Okay, first says, for me, background image is not useful. Yeah, I understand what you're talking about, but we are trying to cover up all programming language from HTML to CSS. We don't really want to just cover only web development. We're also going to do other programming language. So it's essential that you actually know like the basis. It's up to you to decide what language and what skills you actually want to use. Thank you first for your suggestion. I think you are not following our Instagram page, so you're not aware of what's actually going on. This YouTube live is to cover up different programming language, and we are starting first with web development, and we are teaching those who have zero knowledge from the basis. Thank you for your suggestion once again. So I'm going to stop sharing and share the other side of the screen so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. And so I am going to put a Control V back here so that everything that we use will continue to be there. And remember, guys, when something is no longer useful to you, you can easily comment it out. So another stuff I'm going to look out now is border. Guys, what do you understand by the word border when it comes to CSS? What do you understand by the word border, and how can we use border in CSS? What do you understand by the word border, and how and when can it be used in CSS? What do you understand by the word border, and how and when can it be used in CSS? I can see that we have 3 people on the live. Brenda, Force, Guyan, you said you are going to ask a question. I'm still waiting for your question and I haven't seen it. So I'm actually waiting to hear from you. So how and when can we use border in CSS? So CSS border also allow you to style the width. It also allow you to style the color, and it's a property of CSS. So I'm going to give you an example of what I want to put a border in and how I can use a border in CSS. So it actually have different styles for putting a border. You can use dotted style, you can use the dash style, you can use the double style, you can use the solid style, you can use the insert style, you can use the non style, you can use the hidden style, you can use the groove style. It has so many ways that you can actually do make a CSS border. So we're taking them one after the other. So now remember that I taught you how to use class by ID. Okay, thank you so much, Force. It's good to have you in class again. Have a nice time. Remember, I taught you class by ID, and I taught you class and I taught you ID. Whenever you're calling a CSS style, you can actually use it. And I told you that the difference between those two is using hash and the dot point. So over here now, I'm going to be taking the CSS border and I'm going to be using different styles for CSS border. So over here, let's style. First and foremost, let's start using dots. So now we're going to style a paragraph and I'm going to call it, yeah, we're going to style this one over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the dash, I'm going to put the dotted border so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. Mm -mm. Mm -mm. So border style dotted. So remember that we had it there, and then maybe we can actually change the color. So I'm going to remove our background image. So I'm just going to comment this part here. Let's comment this part. Oh, controls. What happened? Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. That's it. Sorry. Mm. Okay, can you use this? Okay, I was thinking we're still doing HTML. I'll just change it now. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to end it over here. So I'm just going to comment that out so that our background will be as plain as white like we used before, so that I can actually show you what our border text actually look like. So we already use border style and we put dotted, so we are just going to put border style, border color. Let's make it, what should we use for our border color? Let's use blue. So now we actually made our border color to be blue. Okay, thank you so much. We actually make our border color to be blue, so I'm going to stop sharing, share the other side of the screen so you actually see what I'm talking about. Share, load the page again. So guys, you can see the paragraph where I use the border and I use dotted border to actually single out those tests, the paragraph tests that I actually use for John. And you can see that I use the dotted style, and that's why you see that the styling there is dot, 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 dot. So imagine that I want to change the styling of this stuff. Okay, sorry, I've not shared. So I'm going to, okay, yeah, I'm sharing. So I'm going to go back and change the styling since you've already seen the styling already. So I'm just going to go back, change the styling of the class of this whole, I'm just going to go back and change the styling of this whole border stuff to, I'm going to change it to dash so you can see the difference between the dotted style and the dash style. So I'll come over here, share this part of my screen again so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. Come over here, share. So now I'm just going to change this from dotted to dash. So guys, that's all you need to do. You can keep the border and the style together just to change the styling. And now I've singled out those tests that I'm actually supposed to use. So I'm just going to stop sharing, share the other side of the screen so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. So guys, I didn't reload this page because I want you guys to still see the dotted sign. Can you see the difference between the dotted sign? Now let's see the dash sign over here. So you can see the border using the dash sign. You can look very well. You can see the dash, 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 dash. It's actually totally different. So now if I want to use another styling for like the CSS, I want to use like the solid style. So it's kind of like different also. So what I'm just going to do is I'll go back to our web page. I'll just go and go back to our Visual Studio page and change it from dash to solid. All right. So now all I just need to do is I'll stop sharing here and come back to this page and share this page again. So, and definitely guys, I haven't reload this. So this, remember that this is the dash border. The style for the border is actually dash. So now I already changed it to solid. So what I just need to do is just to reload the page, and you can see that there is no dash, there is no dots. What is here for the styling is actually solid. If you have any question, guys, I am open to answering them before I move to the next section. So I've taught you dotted, dash, solid. The next thing I'm going to teach you is how to make a CSS border with making it actually double. when you want to make a CSS border and you want to make it like the styling for it to be double, all you just need to do is to still change it and write double. Okay, thank you so much, Brenda. Brenda, any question? I don't know if Foss is still here because he said he needs to go. But if you are watching my live, please write on the comment section so I know who is following me for this live. And you can ask any questions or you can tell me, okay, you understand, and I can actually move on. So now I'm sharing this part of the screen again. I'm going to change this from solid to double, right? So when I change this from solid to double, when we start our CSS, when we go back to our web page, I'm going to stop sharing and share the other side of the web page for you so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. So over here, you can see that it's still solid. But when I reload the page, you can see that our CSS border now, it's actually double. And so on and so forth. All you just need to do is to use border style, and you can change it to any style that you want. You can actually use double, you can use solid, you can use dash, you can use groove, you can use ridge, you can use outset, you can use none. If you don't want any border, you can use none. You can use hidden, you can use double, dash, solid, double. So depending on what you want as your styling for your border, that is what you are going to do. And now aside that, we can actually set the width of our border. I don't know if you know that. So guys, how can we set the width of our border? How do we want the size of our border to be? And different ways to set our width, we can use IM, PX, PT, CM, centimeter. Or guys, you know what I'm talking about, to set the width of our border. So now what I'm going to do now, since we're already using a double border, let me see which screen I'm actually sharing with you. Okay, I'm sharing this. Let me go back and the Visual Studio so you see what I'm talking about. Already using the border style. Since already using the double border, so what I'll just come here is I'll do border width. Yeah, border width. So guys, I'm going to set the width of this border to 5 pixels. So I just want you to see what it, I'm going to use a solid border so that you can see the difference, because I'm going to use solid so it can be easily noticeable for you. So what I'm going to stop sharing, go back to our screen again so you actually see what I'm talking about. Share this part of the screen. Guys, you see that over here is still double, but when I load the screen, it's going to turn to solid, and I actually use 5 pieces. So that's why the width of the border is actually solid and bright for you to actually see. If you have any question, please put on the chat so that I know that you're actually following me. Any question, please write on the chat so I know that you're actually following me. And if you don't have a question, just tell me if you understand or not. So that is how to use border width and how you can actually set it. So I actually set mine to 5 pixels. It's up to you to set yours to whatever you want. You can set to 20, you can set to 30, you can set to 35. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remain on this page and go back and change my border pixels to 35. So you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'll just go there and write 3.5. And I know what you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So what I'm just going to do is that I'll just go back and reload the page. So you can see that my border here is 35, and that's why it's so solid. So you can see that this is how you can actually make a border using CSS. This our page is looking so scattered now because I'm just trying to teach you, but you can actually make an organized web page using whatever that I've actually taught you. So another stuff again I'm going to look at today is I've already treated border colors already. So the next thing I'm going to do is to look at border sides. So guys, what do you understand by border sides? And you already know what border is. So when I talk about border sides, what do you understand by it? In case you are not understanding my pronunciation very well, I'm just going to write on the chat so you understand what I'm trying to talk about. When I say border sides, what do you understand? What do you understand from the word border sides, and how and when can you use it when talking about border? I'm sorry. Okay, here they don't have the border sides on this Visual Studio, so I'm just going to put the border left or border right. So I'll just use border left here. So guys, when we talk about border sides, what do you understand from it? Nobody's here, so I'll just talk about it. So when we talk about border sides, what I'm trying to say is that border sides can be, the right side can be solid, can be dotted, it can be, okay, so what I'm going to do is that since we already have a solid stuff, I'm going to set the border right style of the stuff to be dotted. So you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'll just come over here and make this dotted. So guys, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Oh, thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you. The four sides, you can actually left, right, top. So you can actually style those sides also. So remember that I changed the left side of the TED. So I will just stop sharing and share the other side of the screen so you actually see what I'm talking about. I have the changes haven't reflect here, but when I reload the screen, you will see that this left side of the border has actually become dotted. So imagine that I want to make the right side of the border dashed. So I'll just go back to the right up and just put right, border right. And what I'm going to do is just write dashed. So it's up to you to choose whatever you want. You can either decide to put it dash, or you can change the color, you can change the size. It's up to you. So you can see that this part of the right side of the border now has actually become dashed. So you can also change the top side, you can change the down side. So it's up to you as an individual what you actually want for your border. So guys, if you have any question, please write on the chat so that I know that you're actually following me and you understand what I'm talking about, because we're going to end today's class in border. So the next thing that we're going to actually talk about now is border shorthand. So what are the border shorthand that you know? So there are different shorthand properties that you can actually use for border whenever you want to write border width, border style, border color. These are the different ways you can actually use to actually write a border. And then you can actually make your border actually rounded. You can make the border to be normal. You can change the radius of the border. When you want to make it rounded, all you just need to do is to change border radius. And when you use the word border radius, you can actually change to the pixel or the amount of pixel that you want, and that way you can be able to change the radius of that's the left or the right side of the border. So what I'm to do is I'm going to stop sharing. So I share the Visual Studio Code again with you so you understand what I'm talking about. Because I don't want the border left and right, what I'm just going to do is I'll just comment it out. Over here. Now come over here and yeah. So that way I've actually commented it out. Now what I'm going to do is border radius, and I'm going to set this to 5 pixels. Let's check the difference when we use 5 pixels for our border radius. Okay, so guys, you see what I'm talking about? Share the other side of the screen so you actually see what I'm talking about. Okay. When I load the screen, you're going to see that the radius here is still the same thing. So I'm just going to change the radius instead of using 5 pixels, I'll just use 35. Let me just change it to percent so it can be more effective. And I'll go back and load that part of the screen again so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So guys, this way we've actually changed the radius of our border. So it's up to you to decide what you want. So what we actually used here was border radius to be able to change that from a square stuff, and I used 35% because that was my preference, able to change the radius of the border. And I think this is where we're going to end our class for today. So from tomorrow, we are going to start talking about margin, how to use margin, and how to use padding. So guys, if you have any question, please write on the chat. If you don't have a question, tell me. If you also need the code of all the classes that we've been having from HTML to date, I can send you the code. All you just need to do is to follow me on my Instagram page and send me a DM that you need the code that we have been writing so far, and I'll be able to send you that. Thank you so much for joining. For those who want to stay behind and ask me a question, I'm going to keep the live on for the next 5 minutes so that I can respond to any question that you might have, and I'll end the live from there. If you have a question, write it. If you don't have a question, then have a great day. Okay. Since there is no question, then I wish everyone a great day and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.